Good afternoon. My name is Damian Ishmael Fairconatu. The title of this game is the Reparations game. This is an additional assignment of Project Restoration School. Each player rolls dice first in order to determine the order of placement in the game. The nearest number to 0 dictates that a player rolls dice first to advance in the game. For example, there are 5 players. In addition, players roll a 2, 5, 7, 10, and 12. Hence, this is the order of placement to roll dice in the game. Players start at the land of their ancestral captivities. Players seek to advance into the land of their ancestral possessions. Each player advances 1 block at a time. However, each block has a word that determines if a player advances 1 additional block, receives 1 additional block, loses a turn, or becomes immediately disqualified from the game. The game has 4 grace cards to correspond with 4 depth blocks. The grace cards are placed in the rectangular block that states grace cards. Grace is a temporary immunity from death. If a player comes on a death block, he or she can use a grace card once to stay in the game. If a player comes on a death block again or after a grace card is used, he or she is disqualified from the game. If a player loses a turn, he or she waits until the next cycle to roll dice again. The game is over when players arrive at their destinations or disqualified. 1 player can play the game. Sickness equals move backward 1 space. Crime equals move backward 1 space. Sin equals move backward 1 space. Drug equals move backward 1 space. Gamble equal move backward 1 space. Drunk equal move backward 1 space. Debts equal move backward 1 space. Death equals disqualification. Poverty equals move backward 1 space. Prison equal lose a turn. Success equal move forward 1 space. Descendants of African slaves experience hardships from experiences such as sicknesses, crimes, sins, drugs, gambling, drunkenness, debts, death, poverty, prison, and slavery that hinder their progress to immigrate, repossess, and settle onto the ancestral continent. To the contrary, descendants of African slaves have some success, yet some descendants will not immigrate, repossess, and settle on the land of Africa. Nevertheless, the game is not over until every player arrives at the desired destination or dies. The struggle for reparations continues if a descendant of an African slave works to restore lost settlements and broken relationships in Africa. Descendants of African slaves are not only black people, but they are related to African slaves by birth, marriage, adoption, and community. Reparation is not a black thing, it is a God thing. Reparations mean to restore. Therefore, reparation is a ministry of God. Jeremiah recorded in chapters 29 and 30 of his book of the Holy Bible about God's plan to restore freedom and ancestral real estate to Israelites. In addition, Jesus Christ restored sight to blind people, hearing to deaf people, speech to mute people, sanity to lunatic people, peace to demon-possessed people, strength to lame people, life to dead people, forgiveness to condemned people, salvation to lost people, and freedom to enslaved people. God is universal. God does not respect people. For example, if God returned captivities of Israelites, God could return captivities of Africans and descendants of African slaves. In addition, if God returned Israelites unto their ancestral possessions, God could return descendants of African slaves unto their ancestral possessions. This is my contact information. My name is Damian Ishmael Farkanatu. My address is 403 Main Street, GSU 1157, Grambling, Louisiana 71245. My cell phone number is 601-488-9108. My first email address is Damian_Farkanatu@yahoo.com. My second email address is dfarkan@gsumail.gram.edu. Thank you for your participation in this course. Have a blessed day and hope to see you soon.